Well, good morning, everybody. Travels with Dottie here, reporting to you from QUARTZSITE, Arizona at 5:37 a.m. on November 19th, 2024. And let's look at our weather report. And the weather report it is currently 51 degrees, so it's a little normal. This time of the morning, that's very good. We're looking at a high of 68. A low of 42, partly cloudy skies today. Tomorrow, 73 is the high and the 43 is the low. Then we have partly cloudy the next day. It's high of 75, low of 45. Perfectly sunny on Friday, my work day. All sun, 75, 47. But then on Saturday, we have 77, 53. And boy, it's perfect weather, especially Saturday with that 77. It's just, the winds though, let's see what the winds are going to do. I don't have that much going for, but it's pretty light today. I see the peak wind yesterday was probably close to 15 miles an hour. Today the peak wind about 8 miles an hour. Tomorrow 2 miles an hour. I'm sorry, 6 miles per hour. So that's enough wind to keep you comfortable in the sun in the middle of the day. So near perfect conditions, I would say, in QUARTZSITE, Arizona. And let's get through as many of these as we can in the next 20 minutes because I have a quick meeting at 6 a.m. and we'll have to stop here, and then I'll come back to you. You'll see a little jump if you notice those subtle things, because I'm gonna stop it and start it. So California 869, and hi Rob, I've not been online for so long now, and as I saw her screen name, I'm like, that's right, she's coming all the time. She disappeared. I didn't notice. I feel terrible I didn't notice. So I haven't been able to keep up on your videos. So fun to see you back in QUARTZSITE. I do miss the desert at times like this. I will try to keep up with you. Your voice is so calming, and I love bubbly, happily Rob. Let's see, read more. See you soon, Susie in Michigan. Well, thanks, Susie. Let's see. My arrows aren't working, so I need to use the mouse. Zareth the Alchemist. It's a lot of letters scrunched together. Liking the channel, lots of great insight. Thank you. California again. I love inspiring, compassionate people. Thanks, Rob. And that was my positive news video on Kind Barber. Today's is on an airline pilot. Danny Nomad says, I've got a double propane tank holder with a split, so I always have two tanks. One's empty. I can switch, and it's time to refill. And it's a good point, Danny. I have the same thing, and those are my main tanks, and they do the refrigerator and the stove, and you just have to know when it switches over, because I have had the experience where mine switched over, I'm not paying attention, and I end up with two empty tanks. So what I've got, before I got the sensors, what I would do is I wouldn't use the failover, and when I run out of propane, an alarm goes off on the refrigerator. Listen, like beep, beep, beep. So I just run out and flip the switch and know that, hey, next time in town I got to fill that other tank. But sometimes that happens at 3 in the morning. That's no fun. Or it's happening when it's raining outside. So that's why I went for the sensors that I talked about in that video. Stacy Jones, Daddy is definitely feeling better. Okay. Maria Fuentes, Dottie, your dog and yourself are two uniquely individuals. Your videos are technically excellent, professionally filmed. The Lord Jesus Christ is giving you this talent. Thank you for sharing it with your viewers. Someone may say, hey, I don't want politics or religion on the channel. I don't care when someone is Christian and wants to praise Jesus. I'm totally great. I support that. What I'm talking about with religion is trying to push it on someone else, and Mario's not doing that. Just celebrating his faith and his love. That's terrific. I would support that. Anyone espousing their faith and love in their religion. I will take issue with this, Mario. I'm sorry. Technically excellent, professionally filmed. It's a little bit of an insult to professional filmers. I don't get me wrong. I appreciate the compliment. You like the production values that you experience. You like them, but it's anything but. It's not professionally lit. No professional sound. Editing, I really don't do much editing at all. It's totally minimalist. I used to run a video company where I used to do weddings and memorial services and local commercials, and I worked really, really super hard at it, and had, you know, professional camera, and I wasn't even very good at it, you know, but I do appreciate, for those of you out there that really do technically correct professional things, my hat is off to you. It would become a job if I had it like that. But I get it that you like it and you're saying something nice to me. So that's more important than anything I've said. I love it. Thank you. I thought you and Dottie were camped in QUARTZSITE. That's Czar the Alchemist. Well, Czar, you were looking at a short from like September, so that's where I was then. So be mindful of the dates of the stuff that you look at. But I'm in QUARTZSITE. Down the first, I think QUARTZSITE sunsets are the best. I'm surrounded by houses, so no way to get a beautiful sunset like that unless I walk over to the school, and then I must contend with tall trees. Oh, bummer. Didn't I hear, same Tom has another, didn't I hear somewhere there is a new grocery store in QUARTZSITE? And it said, yes, DG Market, and a video on it will release tomorrow. I think I'm releasing it. That would imply I meant I was going to release it today, but I had another video in there I got to sneak in, so it's going to be tomorrow. Today's video is going to be on my Empire heater that I have, and my history of various solutions for heating solutions while boondocking without using too much electricity. And I've done 1, 2, 3. This is my 4th iteration of things to try, and it's my favorite so far. And that was Rose. Rose says on the Kind Barber video, that's awesome. Kudos. Happy trails, safe travels, and hugs to Dottie and George. And then she did another positive news video. Number 251, the day before, she saved the baby's life. This is good, awesome news. Tearjerker, just awesome. It is a tearjerker, for sure. Sometimes you can tell when I do my positive news videos that I get a little choked up trying to talk about it. QUARTZSITE sunset. Rose says sunset's beautiful. And then I did a video of ASMR, you know, the sort of, I forget what that acronym exactly stands for, but it's soothing sound. I did a video on just the picture and the sound of frying eggs. She said, looks yummy, that look at Dottie. And then at the end, I showed Dottie's reaction, because she was like over on the bed, licking her chops and drooling and staring at me as I was doing that. And Rose talks on elephants and bees. That's number 250 positive. Wow, another awesome, just awe, God is good. And she looked at an old short Dottie, most boring dog ever, and she just did a smiley face. Ken talked about QUARTZSITE exploring camp at La Posa South. Nice walk this morning. Dottie started out, needed a pee, and then wanted a nice sniff. AIM readings on the same video. I appreciate you doing these videos. Thank you. My fur baby got some good news from the vet. That's good. And we will be coming out, God willing, next year. This time we will be there. First timers, but loving every minute of it so far. It's hard, but so is owning a home. I love this. I'm so sad about the price hike, though. Probably will stay in other areas. I'm really learning the area thanks to you, so I appreciate it so much. Stay safe out there. Love your fur, babe. And she's talking about the price hike from 180 from the season to the proposed 600. Underlined, italicized, and circle the word proposed. Proposed doesn't mean done. We'll see in January. Ken Gray on the barber video. A man who wants to make his life better by making life better for other people. We need more like this. Yes, we need more like this. A barber that uses kindness and empathy to move through his life. And this little story shows a very simple but heartwarming way that he does that. Boot76, hello travelers. Does that area you're in fill up to be in a tight space with too many campers? I may be headed to southern Arizona from southern New Mexico, wondering how crowded some of those areas can get. Thank you. And the areas that we're talking about in the video, no. You can choose to be in a crowded area, or you can just keep driving. There's hundreds, if not thousands of acres of land. It's just, you can always, at the peak, you can be in a secluded location in any one of these areas. Any. Really. I don't do that because I like being around people. So, but I'm semi-secluded. My campmates are kind of in a little circle over there, and I'm 100 feet away, sort of off to the side a little bit. Canadian Jay says, keep doing what you're doing. Okay. Will do. Thank you. Betty Reynolds says, I just found your channel very interesting. Thank you. Well, you're welcome, Betty. Debbie says, me and Dottie like eggs. So Michael's Human says, park your truck as close as you can. Get a longer hose that will reach from the truck to the pump. Leave the jug in the truck and pump. So this is like the fifth one I've had on telling me that I need to do something different from what I'm doing with pumping the water into my truck. Trust me, right now, I appreciate suggestions. I really do. But I'm really satisfied with how I'm doing it right now. I'm more than satisfied. I think it's an ideal option. Doing something like that, like getting a longer hose, and just to avoid carrying a 48-pound jug from my truck to the trailer, while it would save me from lifting it. It's not worth it to me. Maybe in 10 years, and when I really have a hard time doing that, that or something like that will be exactly what I'll do. But right now I'm good. But thanks for the thought. Brianna Applegate, Dottie is the boss. You're paying attention. Love your video. Looks like rocks would be hard on her paws. Maybe need new shoes. I've gotten those little shoes for the dogs. She does not have a problem on the rocks. She's perfectly fine. She doesn't want shoes. Philip Willems, I'm still in Ohio, expecting a snowstorm on Thursday. I'm sorry. I'm leaving the following week for Arizona via Kentucky and Bucky's, where I always want to check out. Yeah, Bucky's is cool. I call it the truck stop for cars. I knew there's something different about you. This is Debbie 5293. How can I she's saying, how can I get counseling from you? I need emotional help because I've not been able to balance out my life. Love the long videos, and there's something that calms my emotions when I watch them. Well, I tell her I do very limited counseling only for people in Virginia, Idaho, Florida, and Nevada. I do have a playlist, emotional health videos, and I gave her the playlist. If any of you want to see that too. A playlist is you go on the channel and you click playlist, and there's different categories, and click on emotional health, and I think there are about 30 videos. They're short and sweet, but they encapsulate the kind of insights, methods, conclusions that my clients and I have arrived at over the years that have been helpful. And you wonder, why do you you're in Arizona, why are you just treating people in those 4 states? Well, the way licensing works is, if you're in Virginia, if I want to treat you like through a Zoom call, I have to be licensed in the state where you're at. Make sense? But it doesn't matter where I'm at. But if you're sitting in Virginia, I have to be licensed in Virginia. Florida, so Virginia was my original home state. It's where my business is located. So what about Idaho, Florida, and Nevada? Well, I used to live in Idaho, and it was licensed there, so I kept up with that license. And I have a residence in Nevada, so I just recently this year got my license there. In Florida, during the pandemic, passed this law that you filled out a short form to be able to do telehealth counseling in Florida from anywhere in any qualifying state, and there was no expiration date to it and no fee. So they haven't revoked that law yet. So I'm licensed in Florida as well. Let's see. Oh, and Debbie, and if you have insurance, you can check with your insurance about getting counseling help. And if you don't have any insurance, check with your local city or county mental health organization, and they often have resources. Philip Williams on the comments video. Macerator is an item that chews up human waste and TP to move waste to waste tank. If anyone wants to know, we had that in the Navy on ships, and we had to be cleaned out by hand every so often. You know what? That's true of the macerator pumps in RVs. The #1 failure rate, and I'm saying this like I know it's fact, but ask me how I know it's true for at least one case, and I extrapolated that it will fail if you're not cleaning it. You do, I would say, at least once a season. You have to go to a dump station with a hose, and you need to clean that thing out, or it will get mucked up, and it's not a pleasant task. Danny Nomad, Danny gave some good information, because last I checked last year, and shame me for not checking this year, I couldn't find a Nomad locker anywhere near reasonable distance. Now there are 2, and either they're new or I missed them last year. There's a Amazon locker in Blythe, and so that's about 35 minutes away. And there's one on Highway 60 in Siloam, and that's about, I think, 27 or 28 miles away. It doesn't work with really large items, but you can test it. You can try to do your Amazon to it, and if it's too big, it'll just say that you can't send it to that address. But probably 95% of the things I order would go into an Amazon locker. So Danny Nomad, you rock. Thank you so much. Philip Williams, not sure if it's this way in Quartzsite, but here in Ohio where I'm at, but a Dollar General is a drop-off and pick-up for FedEx packages. As far as dropping off, you need the labels and such for the package. They don't do that there. It's just a pick-up and drop-off. And actually, Philip, you rock too, because that's true. And I have mentioned it in the past. Dollar General, not Family Dollar, but Dollar General on Main Street does have a FedEx pickup and drop-off for it. And you can actually have FedEx shipments sent there for free. And I believe there's a weight limit. I think it's under 60 pounds. But if you're anywhere near 60 pounds, give them a call and check to see what their weight limit is. And let's see. I stayed for the explanation. I can understand how some people will get confused. For USPS mail and QUARTZSITE, it's best to have a valid USPS, United States Postal Service. UPS and FedEx can be sent to any location that will accept them. And I responded and said, and to remind Ken that the only valid United States Post Office address in QUARTZSITE is a United States Post Office P.O. Box. No street addresses are valid. Does that sound surprising to you? If you are a rural person, no. If you're an urban person, you're saying, what the heck are you talking about? Well, this is a small post office, and there is no street delivery. There's no little of those familiar trucks or contracted people in station wagons with the little post office sticker on there. They don't have those here. There's no. So if you live in town and you want to get mail, you have to get a P.O. box. Or do general delivery, I guess. So I'm going to stop right here. Ken has another comment, but I have to take care of my business on a little meeting in 2 minutes, and I will be back after that meeting. We'll finish this up, okay? Well, I'm back, and that was totally unnecessary because I didn't have an appointment at 6 in the morning. It's at 7. I forgot about the time difference. Whoops. When I was back in Nevada, this appointment was regular, and it was at 6 in the morning, and now it's at 7 in the morning. So sorry about that. So Ken Gray says, speed up will not work on the commercial. Sorry for anyone that wants to know. You either use the settings icon or use a keyboard shift-caret left or shift-caret right for speeding down and speeding up. He was mentioning, he said, a little kiddingly, but seriously, if I do a long video like over an hour, he views it at 1.75 speed, and he thought maybe I'd be insulted. Absolutely not. I thought that was a brilliant idea that I will use when I watch my favorite YouTubers and they have a really long one and I want to get through it. I'll speed it up. Makes my voice sound funny, I bet. Makes it sound like this. But good idea, Ken. Robin Goff. Rob, we never get tired of the happy, bubbly Rob. Treats and scratches for the king and queen. Thank you, Robin. Ken Gray. Okay, Ken. Here's another, at least a standing double here. Camel burger is a definite thing. This truly exotic meat is similar in taste and texture to beef, pork, and lamb, although it's naturally on the leaner side. Camel meat is packed with flavor. And you know what? So I said that someone said there's camel burgers over at such a place in QUARTZSITE. You need to check it out. And I thought, I'll check it out, but I'm sure it's just the name of the burger. It's not really camel meat. And then the other day, or yesterday, I think it was yesterday, or the day before, I was buying some propane, and the guy, we were chit-chatting with the guy, and he says, yeah, his wife is working over at Scooters, and that's the name of the restaurant. And I laughed, and I said, somebody told me it's real camel meat. And he goes, it is real camel meat. I said, what? He goes, yeah, they import it from Australia. It's camel meat burgers. You got to try it. They're really great. Okay. So you get information when you say things like, yeah, they said camel meat. I don't think that's true. So that leaves it open for people to correct you, which can be valuable. If you say it with like, it's a factual statement and you don't want to hear otherwise, you're not going to get the information, and you're going to go along through life with your bad fact. So, Kathy J., you and Dottie are good for my emotional health. Wish I was there. Dottie's tale was the dead giveaway that she's a happy girl. Blessings to you both. We're talking about you, Dottie. Dottie dog. Dottie. Do you want a treat? Do you want breakfast? She knows breakfast. Sorry. It'll be soon, I swear. That was kind of mean, wasn't it? The Zigzag says the LTV maintenance tests the potable water twice a day. I was told by the host. Yeah, I'm talking about I'm purchasing testing equipment, mostly out of curiosity because I had that. I'm not going to go into it. This whole thing last year where the salt content of the water was so high here, and I was atomizing it to get the humidity up, and it was messing with my propane flames. Anyway, Zig, I hear you, but I tried to find a place anywhere that they publish the results, and they just don't. So I want to know. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Pup Camper. That's Cheryl. She lives over there. Oh, she just had a heart on the exploring camp in La Posa South. Renee, we just bought a macerator. On the welfare comment, I talked to a few people on welfare in Pennsylvania. They told me they were capable of working, but won't because once you get a job, they take your welfare away instead of weaning them off. That's exactly what my husband did with our big Renogy panels. I think those are two separate things. Welfare and Renogy panels are separate. And there was a comment, and I think the person deleted it. It was just saying, why, someone said, why should people get a job when they can just take welfare? And it's really, I think that's mostly a myth. Am I saying there are no people out there that could get a job that just stay in welfare? Well, of course there are. And I think it's a minuscule number. I think in terms of the whole workforce, it's a tiny, tiny number, because welfare, or as it's properly known these days, is TANF, and it's an acronym, TANAF, is Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. And the temporary in general means 5 years. And I believe it's, if there are any social workers out there that can correct any of my details, please do. Please do. That's welcome. I believe it's 5 years maximum lifetime benefit for, and the highest monthly payment I was able to see was somewhere around $960, I think, in the city, in New York City, in Manhattan. Then I heard someplace New Hampshire has really high benefits, but I haven't heard of anything that bumps above $1,000 a month, and that's the cash payment. And let's be fair, if you're getting TANF, you're also going to be getting food stamps, which varies. So you're going to get the stuff is going to add up, but I would say that it pales in comparison to the income you could derive from a moderately paying hourly job that are the jobs that are available. It's a complex issue, and here's what that government program is designed for. It's designed for people that usually have children and can't work, right? If you have children and let's say you have 2 kids, you're a single mother, and you don't have a support system, someone has to take care of those kids, and you'd have to find some kind of big subsidized childcare. Childcare is still it is a huge problem for lower income people. It's still a huge problem. So it really is designed for people that really, it would be a hardship or an impossibility to, because of current circumstances, to get a job. And do people take advantage of it? Of course they do, but I don't think it's a huge thing. This thing, they once you get your job, they take away your welfare away instead of weaning them off. I'm not sure what the logic would be in weaning someone off. I would say maybe for the first 30 days or first 2 weeks, so you can start getting your regular paychecks. But I don't know, weaning them, I'm not sure makes a lot of sense if you're replacing the TANF with income, and income theoretically that's greater than what you're getting from TANF. But I want to be careful again with this bumps up against politics, and it's really government policy and economics is what we're discussing here. And it doesn't matter what party we're talking about. These facts aren't really, well, the facts aren't altered. And I will admit my thing saying, hey, it's a small number of people and this is what people do. Those aren't facts. Those are personal suppositions, but they're party independent suppositions. I had a Garmin GPS in the past, but this is RV Life 289. I want to make sure I didn't skip one. I had a Garmin GPS in the past, but it got me in trouble more than once. So now I have a Rand McNally GPS for truckers. I'd not heard of that. It's worth checking out. And I haven't had a problem with it. I go out once a month in my Class C Chateau. I subscribe today. Well, thank you, RV Life, for subscribing, and I'll check out that. That's a good suggestion. On my frying eggs, Joseph says the cast iron is nice. Cast iron is great to cook with, and cast iron is very inexpensive, very thrifty. Naj, it takes a very special person to do what he does. God bless him. That's the kind barber. Jack Rozovsky, you have such a pleasant demeanor. Well, thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. And Win Gypsy 65 says Dottie looks happy. I think Dottie is happy. Randy says, love Dottie licking her mouth. Yeah, she was like, give me that. Give me those eggs. Desert Schooner. Rob, could you tell me if the knife and utensil tent is open across the street from the game store? I think his name is Kevin. Try to make sure prior to driving the distance, only find they aren't open yet. Oh, well, that happens to be my number one favorite store in QUARTZSITE every year, hands down. So, no, it's not open yet. The tent's there. He's not open yet. And generally, I am there doing a video publishing the next day when it's open. He knows me. He sees me coming. We like each other a lot. And I love his business. So, yeah. Randy, Dottie just makes my day and she couldn't be any sweeter. This was on my QUARTZSITE RV Living for Beginners. That's back a few weeks, but if you're a beginner, it's worth going to the channel, scroll down, look for QUARTZSITE RV Living for Beginners. Mario Fuentes says, great information, and God bless you in Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior. And he did 2 identical comments. He probably to him looked like the first one didn't take. Randy, I didn't see the link, but I've seen this man's videos, and he's a true godsend. Randy, I didn't put the link in there. Hang on, Randy. Hang on. Where's the barber? I'm going to be so upset if I mess this up. It's not, the link is not in there. Shame on me. Randy, I'm going to leave this up. I'll get it in there. I missed that. Oh, I'm so sorry. People always want to judge, blame, or offer their advice or opinion, being clueless to the disability of the child. This man steps up to truly offer a safe place and real help to the entire family. I want to do this like right now. And let me do a Google search here. How about barber? And it wasn't autism, it was cerebral palsy. And it was
this holiday. The wonder of nature. From Aveda.
All right, skip. They got more ads on this than I do. And they don't let you skip them either.
My son Alexander has been diagnosed with both.
There he is. Okay, we are going to go down here. We're going to share. We're going to copy the link. I'm sorry to do this real time in front of you, but you know what? It's important. It's important that people get this information. And save. All right, Randy, it's out there now. Hardtack says, thanks for the channel. You said in an early video you have your front door facing north. How and why do you decide what direction to park the rig there? So he has two questions. I'll answer that one. I've decided the most efficient thing for me to do, since I have stationary outdoor panels. In other words, they're folding panels. They're made of glass and metal. They're stationary because I stake them down so the wind cannot destroy them. It is a due south pointing for if I'm not going to be angling them and move them and following the sun. That's the most efficient, I feel. I want them in the back of my rig. I want my door and the refrigerator vent facing north because that's where the maximum shade is. If you put your refrigerator vent where there's sun, it's going to work harder. Okay. And the door, I like having a rug set out in all the places for me to hang out and sit. And I generally don't like sitting in the direct sunlight. I like sitting in the shade. So those are my reasons. Recording your portable waste disposal tank that you take to the dump station. I understand you empty your black tank into it via the macerator pump. What do you do with the contents of the gray tank? The same thing, frequency. Thanks so much. It's simultaneous. Generally what you do is you empty your black tank, and then you follow it up with emptying your gray tank. So basically you want to clean up as much stuff from the hose and the macerator, as much as the nasty stuff as you can, and the gray water would do that. So that's the same thing. The frequency for me is about every 2 weeks. I rarely take a shower here. I have various methods of body washing that I do here. And yes, it involves soap and water. There's these, I can't remember the name of them, but they're these really amazing pads, square pads that you soak in water, and they're filled with this unique soap, and you just go all over your body. It's soap and water, and it dries, and you don't need a towel, and it doesn't leave any kind of soapy film. I don't know how it works. It just does. And that's the way they advertise it. I got that idea from a YouTuber named a friend of mine named Adventuring with Amanda, who lives in a vehicle, and she's got a pretty remarkable channel. But she turned me on to those. So every 2 weeks, because I'm using it for cooking, for coffee, and for certainly the toilet. And the toilet the black fills up far faster than the gray, because one of the things I do that I really need to do, and it's tempting not to do, but it's disastrous if I don't, is for solid waste in the toilet, I really fill up that bowl with water ahead of time, so it goes in with a lot of water. It's tempting to skimp on the water, but if you don't have enough water with your solids, you're going to have a real problem. Sorry, something popped up on my screen and distracted me. A serious problem is building up of that waste, and you don't want to do that. And one of the things you do to prevent that is flushing your black tank with water. And like, I've been lucky. I've been a couple seasons here where I don't do any flushing for the whole season, and my first flush ends up being the first RV park that I go to, usually in Pahrump after this. This year, I think I'm going to try something a little different. There's a service that comes around for, I think it's just under $100. They have a big truck, and they give you fresh water, and they flush your tank and take everything. And I'm going to try that to review it and to make sure that my black tank is flushed properly at least a couple of times while I'm out here. But hardtack, thank you. Good questions. Very good questions. Let's see, what do we got here? Great questions and answers in the comments today. That's from Randy 3 hours ago. Randy, what time did you get up? And I believe that is it. Yeah, that's it for today. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks as always. Love it when you watch. Thank you. I'm grateful.